So people have been asking me what my agent tier list and where I see certain agents placed, and just kind of how I would do my own tier list. Now, so many people have made tier lists, and most people's are pretty similar. There are certain agents that are just kind of renowned to be either amazing agents, S tier agents or C tier agents, whatever. But this is just my personal opinion. It's slightly different than what I've seen other people say. I have some discrepancies. But essentially, I'm going to do S tier first. And S tier I see as agents who do what they do the best out of all the agents in Valorant. So first and foremost, Sova. Sova is the only person who does what Sova does. He can, between his recon arrow and his drone, he can check angles. With his recon dart, if you know how to use it properly, you can check pretty much anywhere on the entire map from anywhere on the entire map, which is insane. The drone gives you essentially a second life. For intel and stuff. Shock darts is all just great. Sova is a great agent. Then next, I would put Cipher. Now this, I'm going to put Killjoy at A tier as well at the same time, and I will explain this. Personally, this is my personal preference. People can disagree. They could say that they're both A tier or they're both S tier, however you want to say it. I think that Cipher is a better agent than Killjoy for a couple of reasons. And the main reason is more intel. Either agent is necessary, in my opinion. If you want a good stack, you need either a Cipher or a Killjoy or both. Usually only one of the two, that way you can grab other agents that do other things. But you need one of them, in my opinion, for when you're on offense. You need some sort of flank watch. Cipher is great because he has 2 trips for flank watch. Killjoy is great because she has a turret and an alarm bot for flank watch. Now the turret I feel like does a lot better at flank watch, but they both work very well. And the reason that I think that Cipher is better than Killjoy is because he provides more intel. Even though her turret can watch a very wide range of things, Cipher's camera, especially if placed correctly, can give way more intel than her turret can. On top of that, it can be kind of hidden if the other team doesn't know where it is. His cages work very well both on offense and defense, and both of their alts are good but not great. The thing that I feel like sucks about Killjoy is her nano swarms are not great with the new nerf to them. You do have time to get out of them. Not to mention you can shoot them to get rid of them. I just feel like Cipher is more useful in a team. Next agent that I would put in S tier is Omen, and while I put Omen there, I'm going to put Brimstone in A tier. Now, again, you could argue that they're both S tier, you could argue that they're both A tier. Wherever you're going to put one, you're probably going to put the other. Personally, I say that Omen is S tier and Brimstone is A tier. They are both great agents, and they're both really good at smoking, but in different scenarios. Omen is great because he never runs out of smokes. He can only drop 2 at a time, where Brimstone can drop 3 at a time, but when Brimstone drops his 3, that's it. Omen, I don't know the exact number, but he could essentially drop 4, maybe even 5 or 6 smokes in a round. Not to mention, though Brimstone's molly is very good, and his kit is very good for post-plant scenarios, if you know molly lineups, plus his ult, very good. His ult is extremely powerful in certain situations, say bind U-Haul or split ropes. Extremely powerful. Just because I'm putting him in A tier doesn't mean I think he's a bad agent. I just don't think that he deserves S tier. Brimstone is extremely powerful, but very scenario based. His stim beacon, not great. Omen's teleport, not great. Both useful. Now, Omen's ult is, again, very useful. Not amazing, but it can bring you a lot of intel. Plus, it can give you a lot of flanks and cause chaos to the other team. If they don't know where you are, let's say, just for example, let's say you're playing on split, you're pushing A site, and the Omen teleports. You don't know if he teleported back site, to screens, A site, ropes, spawn. You have no idea. It makes it very difficult, creates chaos. And then the number one reason that Omen is an S tier is because he has the best flash in the game. He has the only flash that you can not turn away from. Let's see, Phoenix flashes, you can turn away from them. Rayna flashes, you can turn away or shoot them. Breach flashes, you can turn away. Omen, you can't turn away from. If he knows where you are and he places his paranoia correctly, his flash flashes you. Doesn't matter. You know, you can try to run away or hide. It's about the only chance you have. Or hope that he gets close enough to you that you can see him through the paranoia. So that is why I put him at S tier and Brimstone at A tier. Next, in the A tier category, I'm going to put both Raze and Phoenix. I think Raze and Phoenix are both amazing duelists. Phoenix, he has flashes, he has wall, he has molly to do damage, he also has molly to do heal, he can heal with his wall, and most importantly, probably the reason that I say that he is an A tier is his ult. As long as somebody is able to guard his ult, and his ult is not vulnerable, his body when he ults is what I'm speaking of, his ult is insane. And I know that a lot of people in tier lists have been putting Phoenix lower down the list, but his ult can give intel, his ult can get kills. Even worst case scenario, let's say he ults, he runs into A main or A short or wherever, and immediately gets headshot. Well, now you know somebody's there, and it didn't cause Phoenix any harm, right? It's still, let's say, a 5v5 or whatever. His flashes are good. They can be turned away from, and they are a bit predictable. You can sometimes get away with getting flashed and just spraying down where you know he's going to come from. But again, I still think he's a really great agent. Raze, we all know why Raze is good. The reason that I put her potentially at B, but probably A tier, and not S tier, is because she has been nerfed so much. Her ult takes longer to pull out. Her Raze blast packs do less damage. Not a great agent anymore, but she's still really good, if that makes sense. Her nade is amazing to both do just initial chip damage as well as get people out of corners. Her boombot is great to clear angles. Blast pack is amazing for movement if you're flights. And her rocket, though it does take a long time to pull out, it invokes panic. When you hear a Raze rocket launcher get deployed somewhere near you, you run for the hills. And that is why I put her at A tier. It still does a lot of damage. It doesn't kill as easily, but it is still great. Now, I actually forgot one last agent that I will put at S tier is Jett. Now, I hate the Jett is S tier, but Jett is, of course, as everyone knows, has the ability to do something that no other agent can do, which is get out of shitty situations. Her knives are amazing for eco rounds, as well as getting really cheeky kills, jumping over things, dashing around and being very mobile. Her updraft allows her to get to crazy spots. She has smokes that can be thrown, as long as you know how to use them, they can be thrown pretty much wherever you want them to. They are very powerful smokes. It does leave you a little vulnerable while you have it out. And then everyone knows she's amazing with an op, and because the op is so powerful right now, because nobody knows how to counter an op, and there aren't enough smokes in the game, Jett is great. Now, while I put Jett there, I'm also going to put Rayna in B tier. Now, I would love to put Rayna in like D, F, Z tier, because I hate Rayna, but I will put her at B tier. Rayna has the potential to do the same thing that Jett does if she gets the kill, right? She can E out of about any situation. She does have the ability to heal the way Phoenix does. The issue is both her ability to heal like Phoenix and her ability to escape like Jett, require her to get a kill first. Now, if you are really, really good at getting kills, that's great. However, you can't always ensure that you get the kill, therefore she's not all that useful. She is the only agent in the game that requires you to get kills to be a useful agent. She has 2 flashes. They are decent flashes, but they are very easy to shoot out. If you're trying to 1v1 somebody and you throw a flash and then try to come around the corner, a decent player will just shoot the flash really quick and then shoot you in the head. I don't think she's that great of an agent. I hate when I see my teammates auto-locking Rayna all the time. I understand that she can pop off like crazy with her ult. She's really good for pistol rounds the same way that Jett is, because she can overheal the 150, which I think should be put to 125 for pistol rounds, but whatever. I think Rayna should only be able to overheal the 125 on the first round of both halves. I know that would be a weird change, but I think it would help put her in her place on pistol rounds. That's just me, though. Then, as well as B tier, I'm going to put Sage. Now, a lot of people think that Sage is completely useless now. I don't think she's completely useless. I think that she is very select. Her use is very select now. Her Sage slows are still good. Her heal is okay. It's better than no heal, but it's not the best in the game, right? Phoenix can heal. Rayna can heal. She can heal herself and her teammates, but it takes a while. There's a long recharge on it. Her wall is not very useful. The only situation that I see her wall useful is potentially for pistol rounds, maybe. Her wall's too easy to destroy. If you put it up reactively, which is the way that you're supposed to use it, then it's completely useless because they're going to shoot it down immediately. If you put it down in the prep phase, then you're wasting the wall, and a team can easily just either shoot it down the way that they would already, or just wait for it to go down because you put it in the prep phase. And if you try to put it up proactively as you think that they're going to be pushing a site, that can work, but it's not going to buy you a whole lot of time. A Sage slow is probably going to buy you more time than that wall will. The reason that I put her a B tier there, she has her res, which, similar to the way that I see Phoenix, is an extra life. Being able to take something from a 3v3 to a 4v3, or a 2v3 to a 3v3, is extremely powerful. Not to mention, weird little mechanic here, but let's say for whatever reason that your Jett is using her knives, and Jett dies, then you res Jett, then she keeps her knives, which I think is very interesting, even if she already had them pulled out, as long as she didn't waste them. I don't know, I've just always found that interesting, but cool. Sage's res is extremely powerful. It's dangerous, but it can be used to bait as well. Then the last agent that I will put in B tier is Breach. Breach has gotten a lot of buffs lately. A lot of people have been putting Breach in either A or S tier. I still think he's B tier. He has 3 flashes, which are amazing flashes, and they're very useful to use. However, you do have a large margin of error when it comes to flashing your teammates or missing your flashes, or thinking that you flashed somebody and it turns out that he didn't, and then coming around the corner and getting shot in the face. His flashes and Phoenix flashes are about the same in my opinion. The nice thing about Breach is you can flash from a much longer distance, but his ult is good. It has been buffed. For whatever reason, I still see him as B tier. I could totally argue putting him in A tier. I could see A or B tier with him. He's really the only one. I think Brimstone and Breach are the only ones. Like, I could see Breach in S tier. I could see Brimstone in S tier. I could see Breach in A or B tier. I don't know. What the hell? We'll put him in A tier for now. He has a lot of really good utility. His C utility is great for getting people out of corners. 3 flashes, amazing. His ult, pretty good. And his Earthquake, it does regenerate. It's not amazing, but it's better than nothing. Good to help clear corners, I guess. And then Viper, C tier. I don't think Viper's terrible. I really don't. I think she is too complicated to use. and there's just better agents. And the way that I say sova accomplishes something that only sova can accomplish, and that's why he's S tier. Viper's the same way. Viper accomplishes something that only Viper can accomplish, but that puts her in C tier because what she accomplishes isn't useful, right? She has a wall that can essentially cut off lines, 2 entire bomb sites worth of lines of sight, or 2 different giant areas, which seems really powerful in theory, but it ends up not being that powerful. And she has to be alive to use it. Her Q ability, I believe, right? I believe it's her Q ability. Her smoke cloud, it is useful and it is great for one ways, but again, she has to be alive to use it, for it to bring use to the team. And her Viper traps, they've made them better with the vulnerability and things like that. It's great for getting people out of corners, but there's other ways to do that I feel like are just more effective. On defense, they can be nice to stop people from pushing into sight and kind of slow them down, kind of the same way that a Sage slow would. I just don't think she is all that useful. People don't know how to use her. I could see her slowly making her way up to B tier, maybe as people start to use her, maybe even A tier. But her ult is kind of counterproductive. In one way, it's scary because you don't want to push into an enemy's Viper ult, but at the same time, in my experience, Viper ults don't even work that well, and it kind of telegraphs where you are. You can stay out of them for a while, but they're still not all that useful. So that's kind of where I put people. I say that no agent in Valorant is D tier. Because I don't think there is a bad agent. Just because I say Viper is C tier doesn't mean that she's not useful. It doesn't mean that she's a terrible agent. She's just not somebody I would pick. Now, if you look at this, you see pretty much who I would pick, right? If I was the one choosing, these 4 would be, like, if I chose my team comp, Sova, Cipher, Omen, Jett, then your last 5th can be really anyone in here, right? You have Intel, smokes, Opper, then you probably throw some flashes in there. Personally, I'd probably throw Phoenix in there. I think that is a great agent comp right there. But that's where I put people. Sova, Cipher, Omen, Jett, and S tier. In my personal opinion, the best agents in the game. Then Killjoy is better than Killjoy, Cipher. I think that Cipher's better than Killjoy. Omen, Brim. I think Omen's better than Brim. But these are all scenario-based. And then Phoenix, Raze, Breach, all good agents. Rayna, Sage, okay agents. Not great, though. Viper, not that good of an agent, but could be usable. But that's just my opinion. If you guys disagree and you think that some of these need to be changed around, leave it down in the comment section below. And if you guys enjoyed the video, I'd appreciate it if you leave a like, comment, like, comment, and subscribe. Y'all take it easy.